As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be.
Oh man, it's 8 o'clock.
And so that'll make it a.
Rob Bros.
We get to Alicent and the Grand Maester, and they're talking about Aegon, and he's not doing well. Whether he'll come out of this or not, we don't know. And in the council meeting, Alicent appoints herself, ever so briefly, as the ruler of the realm. Council, clearly not into it.
No.
They're all pushing for Aemond, and she goes, well, he's young and he lacks restraint. It's like, yeah, Grand Maester, I think Alicent. Council, Loras, I agree, Your Grace. It should be Aemond.
Yeah.
If you don't have Loras' support,
No.
you don't have anybody's support.
You've got nobody's support. I mean, Kristen Cole can't even look at you. He has to take Team Aemon too. It's just very funny. I mean, you did this. You said, hey, we need to have Aegon as king because the realm will never look at a woman and say she can rule. But now you want to rule? And you're upset and you're going to have a mental breakdown because the men that you pulled for your small council that orchestrated your entire coup, you're upset that they're not picking you now?
Yep.
Aw.
And the minute...
Oh, man.
Oh, bummer. You good?
Sorry.
And the minute that Aemon steps up from the bottom of the table and heads all the way to the top of the table, puts his little ball in its hole, as he's going, he's all business. The minute he sits down, he's like, all right, here we go. Give me a Riverlands update. The Tullys are a mess. I got doubts about Larys. I don't understand why you gave up the crown jewel of the Riverlands. We needed that spot, and you just bounced. Close the city doors. People are feeling crazy. Let's lock this shit down. Somebody cut down the rat catchers. As he's going through all these orders of business, it's just zooming in on Alicent's face, and this is what I was referring to earlier. She has no role to play anymore.
Yep.
She has played her last hand. She shot herself in the foot by all of her misdoings up until this point. So now she's completely irrelevant. Honestly, the last-ditch effort she had, not even the last-ditch effort, the last attachment she really had to this council was Otto Hightower.
Yep.
And he's gone. And without support from him, nobody takes her seriously. Aemond is the guy that they're going to look to because Aemond, for better or worse, it may not work in your favor, but he's going to get shit done. It might blow up in his face and everyone else's face, but he's going to make moves, which at this juncture,
You need
moves.
Yep.
You need moves. I'm glad he cut down the rat catchers finally. It was too long. Interesting that Cheese's dog is still hanging on.
Still hanging there.
He's coming. That dog is playing a part in this.
Okay.
He's got to.
All right.
We're getting too many callbacks.
Yeah, I know.
What do you think his name is? Owner's name Cheese.
Cracker?
I like that.
Cheese and cracker.
Cheese and Cracker. And he got a little cracker hue to him.
Yeah. All right.
All right, Cheese and so Cracker. Crackers. But I like this next scene a lot, and I like the scenes with Hugh because I do believe that they are much more important to the show as a whole than I know not a lot happens, but when you see them, it's a testament to what's going on with the small folk because they are obviously small folk, so you get to get a pulse of the kingdom itself.
Yeah.
So I like that part of it. I also think it's interesting, and I think that this is a theme throughout the entire show, is pride. And whether you're small folk or whether you are a Targaryen, it does not matter because his wife is like, we need to bounce. Let's get the hell out of here. And he's like, what? Have me be a beggar? She's like, what are you doing now, dickhead? Like, we're not doing much better. At least if we're outside of the city walls, we can figure it out. But he doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to be, quote unquote, a beggar. And that's the pride factor. And you look at all the characters in this show, they all get bogged down by this sense of, I need to do this. I need to do that. And I think that it's a really cool moment to highlight that that's not just royalty. That's everybody in this space has this this underlying need to be that guy or be that woman. It doesn't matter.
Well, it's really important, obviously, that Hugh Hammer keeps popping back up. And I'm going out on a limb and saying that he's probably a dragon seed at this point. Him and Ulf.
Yeah, okay.
Ulf, who we saw in the bar, who was
They do both have long hair.
They both have the same hair. I'm going to go out on a limb and say they're both dragon seeds, and they're going to play
And I'm sorry.
obviously at the end of the episode.
I'm sorry. Hugh Hammer?
Hammer. His name's Hammer. Yeah.
That he needs to be a
He has to be, right?
Hugh
now,
Hammer?
I think that he's probably a bastard, and I think bastards in King's Landing don't actually really get names for the most part, so they can just kind of pick their own. He's a blacksmith. Hammer. Boom.
Hugh Hammer is either a dragon rider or a medieval porn star.
Both.
Or both.
Could be both.
It could be
Could
both.
be both. But anyway, we also get a little shout out to Tumbleton. That's the town that they wanted to go to. That's going to be an important town later. I already know about that. That's one of the spoilers that I read. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, shut up
Yeah.
then.
So, no, I'm just letting everybody know.
We got in trouble for a spoiler last week on
What was the
YouTube, and I was
spoiler?
like, they said that we outed a death, and I was like, no, we didn't. Anything that I responded very nicely, and I was like, anything that we talk about happened in the episode that we watched.
Yeah,
we
or
will
it's
not reveal-
speculative.
Yeah, we're speculating. We will always speculate and try. We love trying to predict things because, like I said in the past, when we're right, it makes us feel smart.
Yes.
But we'll never, ever spoil anything. If we talk about it, we saw it on this episode, or we're speculating on something.
Correct.
It's not actual fact.
All speculation.
We're just super, super smart, so it's probably true. But anywho, we see the rat catchers get cut down. Crackers is following Cheese, and we get to Kristen Cole and Alicent once more. And there's a point to be made about the fact that every time she talks about Aemond, it's like, you know who he is, you know what he is. You don't. Not you, Shooter. You, Alicent, don't know
I wasn't taking
what
that
he is.
personally. Yeah.
No, just for the people out there, for all the small folk listening. We're small folk too.
Yep.
You don't know what he is. And I think that that's made evident when you're sitting with your burnt to a crisp son. You don't know what Aegon is. You don't know your kids because you're a bad mom.
Or you don't know how to control them. Maybe you know what they are, but you're not doing anything about it.
Yeah, so I think that there's, and I've been on this for a while, ever since we saw Aemond in the brothel, not when Aegon comes in there and ruins his time, but the time before that, he has more depth. He does feel things. And I think that what you have with Aemond, and it's interesting that Aemond is a palindrome. Is that right? No, poop's a palindrome. That's when it's spelled the same backwards.
Yep.
It is a, if you restructure the letters in it, Aemond spells Damon.
Yep.
Just saying. This is one of those moments I'm super smart. Look, I think they're the same guy. I think Aemond and Damon are very similar people, and I think that what you're seeing in Aemond, and maybe that was the callback we got last week, where you're watching Damon follow what he thinks is Aemond around the castle and sees himself. I think that is Damon as a younger man. I think that he went through the same things. I think that there is a salvageable piece of Aemond if you point him the right way. What we're seeing with Damon on one side is him attempting to do the right thing and go in the right direction at times. On the flip side, you have Aemond, who's surrounded by morons and impulsive people pointing him in a different direction. It's almost like you get the two paths of the same character. This is what happens if you follow this path. This is what happens if you follow this path. So that's my take on Aemond.
I think that's fair too. And yeah, obviously there's a huge parallel between the two of them. That's why, like you said, Matt Smith was dressed up as Aemond for Halloween last week, rocking the eye patch, walking through Harrenhal. I wanted to point more into Kristen Cole.
Oh, I was getting there. I was just getting it.
He's the hand of the king, and he's going to do this weird little task of cutting down the rat catchers. Really,
He's
dude?
lost.
You're so lost. Like, you have no idea what you're doing. You're trying to stay away from the battle. You are petrified of the dragons.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're doing. So you're going and doing this menial task to go cut down the rat catchers? Like, come on, dude.
He thought he was untouchable until he saw that ashen soldier.
Yep.
Where he's like, wow, and this is that whole scene when he's talking to Alicent. He's like, what I saw at Rook's, like, we're fucked. Like, there's no point for us to even be in this war. The dragons
Let the
are in it
dragons
now.
go.
Yeah, and he's like, have I not spared you? Like, do you want to be responsible for all of this? Because what we have to do next is terrible. Like, everything that happens from here on out, and that's why you get this episode at this pivotal time in the season, it's setting it up. Like you said, this is a setup because things are about to be horrible. People are going to die, and not like 10 people, like thousands of people are going to burn to a crisp. And Kristen Cole knows that, and all that bravado that you saw, all that hubris that you saw, this false sense of confidence that he had for so long, he's a pointed hand to the king. What he realizes in that moment at Rook's Rest, in this moment right now, is being hand to the king does not mean shit. I have no power. And by the way, Kristen Cole, had you done your job as hand of the king and stayed with the king, he would still be alive or not burnt to a crisp. You wouldn't have seen that go down. You would still have this false sense of security, and you could move forward because you tried to get out of there because you panicked when you got named hand of the king. You're like, well, watch what I can do on my horse. Oh, I can't fight a dragon. Now you're lost, and you're cutting down weak old rat catchers Because you're scared.
Yep.
And we all knew you were scared, you sniveling little worm. None of us were fooled.
No.
You queen banger.
No, but you can see that Alicent is completely spiraling now, and I don't know why she even thought that she would have Kristen Cole on her side. Like, yeah, you guys are doing this weird thing where you're like late night hooking up.
It was so funny when she said, "Oh, you're only loyal at night." It's like, yeah, because he's getting some ass, dude.
Yeah, like that's
What do you
it.
mean?
Like, why did you think that this was anything more than that?
You're a
Why are
booty
you treating him?
call.
You were also treating him like shit. So it's not like now all of a sudden he's treating you like shit, and you're like, whoa, what happened?
You both are a "you up" text.
Yeah.
In medieval times, you're a "you up" Raven.
Yes.
You up? Send Raven.
Send Raven. Maybe next week.
He just sent back dots.
Yeah.
He's typing, my liege. Anywho, we move on from there, and we get the small folk as the gates close. Not all of you small folk and us small folk. The small folk on the show. And they're getting trapped in King's Landing by order of Aemond. And I took this as, did they not know that Aemond was the king? Now they're like, oh shit.
Yeah, I don't think
Aemond's
there was
in
any
charge.
formal announcement.
So that was the first, like, oh god, Aemond is in charge now. The gates are closed. Everything's going to shit. Panic, panic, panic. Perfect time for Massaria to send her people in, which we get to a little bit later. But jumping immediately to Jace at the Frey or the twins. He's at the twins in that moment, and he's got his dragon looking on from the back, but he's running through this whole plan that he has to get their support. And as everybody has said, they're all just scared of Vhagar. That's the underlying fear of everybody in Westeros is we don't want that giant old bitch coming here and ruining everything.
Yeah.
And he tries to waylay that by saying, look, we've got dragons too. You're not scared of him. My dragon's legit right there, dude. You're not scared of him? He can Dracarys you just as bad as Vhagar can. So I think that by offering them, because immediately their response is, will you offer us protection? He's like, yeah, what do you want? Harrenhal. All right, cool. You want Harrenhal? I need bent knees, baby. He said, I love that. He goes, I need bent knees. We need bent knees.
Need bent knees right here and right now. It was really nice to see that the Freys were normal.
Yeah.
This is not the Freys that we usually get to see.
They're usually kooky and weird.
They're outside, eating outside, not in some like dark, dingy dungeon.
I hated the scenes with that.
Yeah, no. They seem like normal people. They ask for something normal. It seems like they've agreed. Good trip by Jace.
Nice
Way to go, buddy.
Dude. But I think that that's also, again, the juxtaposed teams here, Team Black, Team Green, Team Black. Jace is talking to Baela, trying to get things figured out. Is this the right move? Here's how I'm feeling. All right, I support you. Go get him. Flip side, I'm doing it. Don't do it. I'm doing it. I'm going to chug this flagon of ale. I'm going to fly on Dragonback and fuck everybody.
Yep.
Watch this. So I think that when you see things being successful with the time to draw up the plan is showing how that side's operating. I think the big climax of this whole thing is at the end of the day, which style is going to work better? Blind aggression or well thought out battle plans? But I guess it changes a little bit with Aemond at the helm because militarily speaking, he is the best military mind amongst the group until Damon gets back involved in a real way. So yeah, I don't know. I just talked myself out of it.
Yeah, see? You don't even know where it's going to go.
This show. But we get back to Harrenhal. This is the moment where we're chopping logs to send them up in buckets for some fucking reason. And Alice Rivers comes cruising in to make things more confusing. And she hears the cries of the people. And war's ugly. No, it's not them. It's just randos. The atrocities are happening across the lands, and you're not doing
Even
anything.
Damon hears it too when he's chopping the wood. He turns around and hears the cries.
Yeah, you hear it too, and that's what she's saying. Like hello, like bad stuff is happening. But she sees this crossroads that he's at as well, because she says any upright man would repudiate. Oh, you implying I'm an upright man? Yes, yeah, it's in there, Damon.
Somewhere.
It's somewhere deep in there. Under that,
We're working through it.
Under your war crime hood.
Yep.
There's something there.
God, I need him to do more war crimes.
I know, we haven't had a
tired
good
of
war
this.
crime in a while, but he talks about one-eyed Aemond can't rule the realm, like he's going to rule with an iron fist, blah, blah, blah. And Alice points out, people said the same thing about you, bro, and you're not doing that. And for all intents and purposes, the Damon that we've seen up until this point with how he deals with people in the Riverlands, he's not reactionary. Even Simon Strong in the very beginning, when all that shit was popping off, when he didn't call him king, I was like, old Damon would have killed him.
Yep.
He's showing that restraint. He's growing. So yes, somewhere in there, sir, is an upright man.
Yeah, we have to figure out what Alice Rivers' motives are. Is she just trying to string him along in Harrenhal and drive him crazy? Is she trying to get to the center of him and try to fix what he was or what he is and try to point him in the right direction? Which side is she on?
Does she?
Does she have a side? She's just doing this for
maybe
fun.
she doesn't have a side, but maybe she recognizes that the only way that Team Black will win is if he figures out his way forward, being an upright man, or at least a better version of himself, not the vengeful, I'm going to kill everybody and everything, Damon. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe.
I don't really know. We don't really, I
We
mean,
don't really know. And we don't even know what the hell Damon's doing because in this scene, he goes on to say, well, yeah, I need to raise armies and I need to take King's Landing. And whether or not Rhaenyra is there is going to be up to her. If she wants to rule by my side as king and queen, then she can do that. And it's like, where is this coming from?
I don't know.
Where the hell did any of this come from?
He says, I can take it and she can be by my side. And I was like, oh, and you're the king. And he said, we rule as king and queen together. So even there, it's not that
He contradicts himself. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so he's lost. He has no idea what's going on. And my whole thing is he's still battling over how to win. And her throwing in there, it's a pity you never knew your mother. I don't know if she's just saying like, yeah, I know you just had a weird vision about you banging your mom.
Yeah.
Or I put that vision in your head. Or it's a pity you didn't know her. Just flat out.
No, I think that she's putting the visions in her. She's doing something to him.
She's canoodling his
Yeah,
brain.
this isn't just Harrenhal. This is definitely her.
Yeah, and maybe that's what exactly
That was the confirmation there, yeah.
We find out from Sir Simon Strong that House Bracken has pledged fealty to Damon because the Blackwoods went in and took care of business. We don't know how yet. And I'm confused if they actually did bend the knee because it, again, contradicts itself in about 5 minutes. But we get a scene with Corlys and Baela, and Corlys is at Dragonstone and says what we were talking about earlier. I got nothing there. I'm here now because where the hell else am I going to go? She was my everything. Baela makes it more sentimental, talking about Corlys of old when you rode in with all of those riches and wealth. And does anybody realize that that was all for Rhaenys? But without her being the one to ask him to be the hand and also reiterate, like, hey, you're blaming Rhaenyra and saying in this moment, like, oh, the death of Rhaenys isn't enough for her. Now she needs to do this. She points out, by the way, bro, let's not forget, Rhaenys is a strong, independent woman. She did this. She's a Targaryen princess. She rode into battle on her own accord because she knew she could make a difference. She also rode into it pretty much knowing she was going to die. Like, she made this decision, and she took out one of their dragons, quote unquote. Didn't. But that was her decision, Corlys. So settle down, rethink things. You could be Hand of the King, which at this point would solidify the council. If you get Corlys there, everybody respects Corlys. Everyone respects the sea snake. So if you get this dude to sit next to Rhaenyra, maybe Alfred will stop being such a dick.
Alfred Broom? Alfred Broom?
Is that his name?
Yeah, his last name's Broom. I was going to try to use a joke earlier and say that he's got a chip on his shoulder. He needs to use his last name to brush it off, but didn't really feel like going that far.
Yeah, well, that
was
would
a bit of a stretch. Didn't really want to do it. But yeah, no, I mean, Baela can cut to the middle of Corlys. This is her grandsire.
The grandsire.
She can get to the middle of him. She knows all of his motives for Rhaenys and what he's going to do. He's going to blame Rhaenyra. He's going to hate this. He's going to hate that. But I can get down to his core and I can convince him, you need something to do. You can't just drift up. What are you going to do? Get back on your boat?
That's what he said.
Just go back over? Yeah, see ya. All right, you want to do that? Go ahead and do it. But we need you here.
Yeah, we need you, big guy.
We need you here, B.
Hey, big guy, we need you. Tie that hair up and let's get to work.
Let's go.
So it works. But this is when you get Sir Alfred and Rhaenyra, and it's good that she poses it this way. You're right. We need Damon to raise an army. I need you to go to Damon because the ravens aren't working. Maybe he's killing the ravens. Just like pew pew as they come in.
Could be. Maybe he just told Caraxes to just eat them.
Just burn them and eat them. But she sends him to go do her bidding, and he's like, oh, you're removing me from the council. She's like, no, just go figure out his intentions. Like, figure out where he stands right now. And let him know I would very much like to finish our convo. This is where this leaves me with hope that we're getting Damon back next week.
Right.
I think that he's not anti-Rhaenyra. I think that if she initiates, and this is again talking about I was about to just tie in New Jersey, Real
Oh my
Housewives of
God.
New Jersey to this. If Danielle talked to her
my
father
God.
first. No. Whoops. See? Crossing
Wrong
of the
show.
worlds. Yeah, that's okay. We just recapped New Jersey, so that was stuck in my head. But if she's the one that extends the first olive branch, I think maybe he'll see that as, oh, I'm in power, or, oh, I didn't have to do it first, and maybe that'll start the conversation. So I
Could.
have hope that he's going to have a conversation next week. I do.
Probably with Alfred.
And then another episode that you think it's literally going to go to the
I
end
think
of
it's
the
going to
season.
keep going, yeah.
I don't think so. I
Uh-huh.
think that this show has a better pace than Game of Thrones did.
It does because it's a shorter story, but I think it's going to keep going.
Should we do a prop bet?
Sure. How many episodes are in the season? 8 or 10? Let's assume that it's 8.
I thought it was 8. I
5.
hope
We've got
it's
6,
10.
7, 8 left.
Oh, God. Is it really 8 with 3 left?
Possibly, unless it's 10.
I really hope it's 10.
But if it's 8, I'm going to say he's going to be there until at least the 7th episode.
Okay.
If it's 10, I'm going to say he's going to be there till the 8th episode.
I think he leaves at the end of the next episode,
Okay.
and we get him back in the 7th.
All right, prop that on.
Unless it's 10 episodes, then that changes.
Push it, yeah.
We'll push it, but we'll find out. We get Damon talking to Sir Simon Strong, and the Riverlords, which is a fun name.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, the Riverlords is
Yeah.
cool. It's way better than Dragon Seeds.
Yeah.
The Riverlords wish for an audience. What hour is it? It's the hour of the wolf. What time is that?
No idea.
3?
3, I'm going to say. I thought 3 too, yeah.
3 for whatever reason is the hour of the wolf. But Damon goes in to talk to the Riverlords, and we find out that House Bracken and all of their lands were just pillaged and plundered, as we talked about earlier, by the Blackwoods. Like, they went through and they burned everything. They kidnapped women and children. They killed peasants. Like, they just burned it to the ground whilst flying the Targaryen banner. And this is also another moment where you see the river folk, they don't give a shit that you're a Targaryen with a dragon.
Yep.
They're like, we're not bending the knee to you, dickhead. We're not going to throw banners up for a tyrant. That's not how we operate.
It's funny, too, because even in this moment, Damon is listening, and he's saying, like, probably to himself, like, okay, yeah, this is kind of what I expected. This was what was going to happen. As soon as they mention the banner, then he opens his eyes, and he's like, whoa, wait.
Yeah.
What the hell?
That's not what
I
said.
may have gone too far with this one.
Which you wouldn't have seen in the past.
No.
In the past, he would have been like, yeah, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Because he comes in there, he's like, I need to teach you a little bit about
Like, he would have said, if you don't want it to happen to your lands, then bend the knee to me right now.
Correct.
Like, why is he not doing anything that Damon would have done?
Because he's growing or trying
Or
to grow.
trying, or he's spiraling. I don't know what the hell's going on with him.
He's having a mentee brie.
Yeah. Mentee brie.
He's having a little mentee brie at Harrenhal. But it goes even further, and some dude says to him, I expect no less from the man who ordered a child's death. And I was like, damn, you're going to take that? And he does.
Yep.
He takes that. He takes the other thing.
Denies it.
He denies it, I know, but like he doesn't retaliate. He says, I would have your head for that.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have her head for that.
Nope.
He would have had the head for that in the past. I know we keep saying this, but it's confusing.
It's very confusing. I don't know what to think about Damon right now.
Where are you going? Well, DMB?
Little DMB.
Sure. Anywho, we get to King's Landing, and this is where Alinda, I believe her name was.
Yep.
In a red cloak, and for whatever reason that stood out to me. I don't know if that comes into play later.
Yeah.
But the red cloak,
Probably just so you can see her in a crowd.
yeah, maybe. But I read too far into everything
Yeah,
on the
that's
show.
fair.
So Alinda is sent there by Massaria to spread the rumors. And important that the King's Guard or whoever that guard is that's standing outside of King's Landing at that point.
City Watch, probably.
City Watch.
Yeah.
So the City Watchman outside is also like, yeah, come on in. Like, they're not tight. And I thought Massaria was dead. Nope, she's not. Let me in. I got somebody important I need to go talk to. So that shows the instability amongst the people that are, I don't know if you can say working for the crown, but the City Watch is clearly not 100% on their team. Things are not going well in King's Landing, and she slips right in. Corlys has that moment where he like grips the hand of the king metal. So, all right, he's in. Jump to Aemond at the Iron Throne, and Helena walks in.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the significance of Helena in that moment saying, is it worth it? Was it worth it?
Well, obviously, I think that we always do this, and we talk about it all the time with Alicent, talking about, do you know who Damon did? Or Damon, see, I did it right there.
Aemond.
Damon. do you know who Aemond is? I know who he is. We don't want him to do anything in power, whatever. I think Helena probably knows Aemond the best. And there's obviously, which you might not even know, there's a funny fan theory out there that all of Helena's kids are actually Aemond's.
I like
they
that.
have a better rapport.
I like that a lot.
So it's gotten to the point, actually, with the second season where the two actors in any scene that they're in, they always want to just throw each other a little look just to give those people.
Further that?
Yeah, there's a name for their relationship. It's like
Halamond?
Halamond, probably. Halamond,
that.
yeah. So, yeah, they always try to just drum it up a little bit just to, get a little interest going on there.
I actually really like that theory.
Yeah.
I think there's some merit to that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's interesting. But you get Aegon with Alicent real quick, and now she's motherly.
Yeah.
In this scene, she's motherly.
For a
but
second.
Not exactly.
long enough.
Not long enough because she bounces and Aegon's alive.
Yep.
Mummy.
Little mummy.
Mummy. Ouch. Ouch, mummy. Come back. So you have a brief moment, but that's like her MO. You have brief moments of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
And then immediately, nope, I'm all stuck. Where's Kristen Cole's penis? I need a thwarting.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, no, seriously. Where's my booty call? Somebody send a raven with the dots and let him know
Let me
that,
go.
yo, you up, bro? I need a little Kristen.
It's the hour of the wolf.
Need a little
Get over
Kristen
here.
cock. Hey, hour of the wolf. Hour of the dog.
Hour of the dog.
Meet me at the hour of the dog, which is 2 a.m. Everybody knows that. Hour of the wolf, 3 a.m. Anyway, the last scene is Jace returning to Dragonstone talking to Rhaenyra, and she's looking at Visenya, who is the first rider of Vhagar, also the first one to wield Dark Sister. What is that about? Why are we talking about that first?
I think right now what Rhaenyra is going through is trying to figure out who she is and what she can do in this war. And Visenya was the first Targaryen woman warrior, if you will.
Okay.
That's what she wants to be.
Got it.
That's all she wants to be. And obviously it kind of brings in Dark Sister, which is Daemon's sword. So obviously there's part there. So there's a lot going on. I think she just wants to do something and be useful. And right now she's thinking she wants to be a warrior.
Okay.
So I don't think she's reading into I don't think there's some sort of
That's just
spell
what
to
she
kill
wants to be.
Vhagar or
No, I
anything
didn't
in
think
there.
that.
Yeah, no,
I didn't think that.
But
Okay.
I think
I'm on board.
I think that's who she's envisioning herself as, and she wants to be that.
I'm on board for that.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. But Jace comes back and she asks, what's the mood at the twins? And Frey's won Harrenhal, but this is what they'll give us in return, blah, blah, blah. And she says something that Alicent could never. I'm proud of you, Jace.
Yep.
And he says, then why are you mad? And she says, because I'm fucking stuck here.
Mhm.
You get it. You were stuck here and you left anyway. And you were able to do that. I can't do that. And all I want to do is get on a goddamn dragon and go burn some shit to the ground. And I'm not able to do that. And the son speaks sense. You're the queen. You can't
You can't.
be gallivanting around Westeros on a dragon because Aegon did that and he's almost dead.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't lose you because the difference is on this team, Team Black, if you lose Rhaenyra, pretty much everything's dead.
Yes.
You don't even have an army to fall back on yet. So, that you can't go right off into the sunset on a dragon. But she feels like she's out of options. Like, do I need to fight? Shall I fight? Shall I wait? I need dragons. Good thing. We
You've
got
got
a
dragons.
big-ass dragon downstairs. Vermithor and Silverwing are just waiting, but they need riders. We don't have riders. Well, guess what, Mom? We got bastards, and we've got bloodlines. And she says, well, they need to be full this. And he goes, I love that he calls out the scrolls or whatever. He's like, you're going to believe some, high Valyrian bullshit propaganda that, only we can ride dragons. Like, come on, Mom. These dudes can ride dragons. These ladies can ride dragons. Let's track down these bloodlines and get an army of dragon riders and start putting them on dragons. We've got 2 waiting that could kill Vhagar.
Probably thousands of them out there.
Yeah, so let's fucking go. And that was I love that too. Literally, there is scores. There's scores of Targaryen blood out here. Let's go find them. My question about the last line, and this, I don't know the timelines as well as you do. It's a mad thought. Is that a nod to the Mad King?
No, because the Mad King is 250 years later.
So what?
What do you mean?
I'm just saying the verbiage.
No, I think
there
it's
is
just.
interesting.
No, I think that's just
Okay. If that comes back in, remember this moment.
Mad King.
Remember this moment. If it comes back in, okay.
I don't think
You're
so.
laughing.
I
You
know,
also
I am
laughed
laughing.
at Aemond not wanting to be king.
I don't think wildfire exists yet. That's really the only thing that you can do to pay homage to the Mad King.
Just saying.
I'm just saying, yeah.
Just saying.
You're just saying, I'm just saying. We're just saying.
Let's get to some questions. See what they're saying. That's how you go full circle.
Yeah.
Rawr.
Come on. There we go. All right. So from God, I am gonna butcher this one.
That's his username?
Nope.
No.
Griver Zadano, probably wrong. 5721 says, "Is Alice real or a ghost of Harrenhal?" I thought this too for a second, but I think she's real.
Simon Strong sees her.
Yeah, he
when she's
sees her,
walking
but she
away.
never has any interactions. So that's why I was like, maybe she's not real, but I think she's real.
I think she's real only because, again, Simon Strong clearly looks at her as she's walking by.
Yeah.
I think she's more of like a pariah, like, oh, you're talking to the crazy witch lady.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up not being.
Possibility. From Daria_PNG, do you think Aemond will take Harrenhal?
No.
He'll leave. It's just too vulnerable to leave King's Landing.
And Vhagar is down and out at the moment recovering. So.
Yeah, and we do get a scene from next week where they're talking about how Damon's in Harrenhal. Aemond made a point to say that Larys Strong gave up Harrenhal. Look, he's impulsive. Maybe he would go. I'm gonna just to go against you. I'm gonna say he will try to go take it himself.
That's a different question.
Oh,
You said, will he take Harrenhal? I think he will attempt to at some point. I don't think he's going to take it.
I would love to see a plan play where they think that Damon's there with Caraxes and Aemond goes to take Harrenhal and go for this big war with Caraxes.
Nobody's there.
And nobody's there.
I like that.
And they're actually taking King's Landing back.
I was
That
going
would
to
be a good
say,
play.
to tie in your prediction with my prediction, I think that they will, I don't think this will happen. Here's my prediction, though. Aemond does go to Harrenhal. Him and Damon battle, dragon fight. They both die, and that's where Damon dies at Harrenhal.
At Harrenhal.
But they both
This
lose.
season?
No.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to die that soon.
He can't.
Either of them, honestly.
Matt Smith, that made-up ass name. What's your name? Matthew Smith. Yeah, right. I love Matt Smith. Not shitting on him. It's just a funny name.
From Travis Bowden, do you think that Alicent will have a big outburst from being cut out of everything?
Yeah, and I think it's going to
some
fall
point.
on deaf ears because what does she have to bring to the table now? Literally nothing. She lost control of both of her kids. She almost got one of them killed by being an asshole to him. And she has no support on the count. It's like literally nobody except the Grand Maester, who is also hiding her secret that she's taking Plan T. So yeah, I don't think she's got anything to. She got no cards left to play.
Good point. From Mary Had a Little, is Kristen even fit for battle? Homie folded right away.
He's a big softy.
I don't think anybody's really fit for battle unless you have a dragon.
Yeah, I think
Right now you're kind of all fucked.
He's just the biggest bitch of them all. He's cowering, cutting down rat catchers.
From Mishy_Egan, anyone else not remember most of the stuff that happened last season? That's what we're here for.
That's what we got you.
We'll always talk to you about.
And
what
by
happened
we,
last
I
season.
mean shooter.
And I love the follow up too. Also, does everybody look too similar and have two samey names? Yes, that is tough to.
It's a Game of Thrones thing, though.
Yeah.
They've done that for centuries. Aemond, Damon, Rhaenyra, Baela, Baelise, Big Ben.
Big Ben. Big Ben's out there somewhere too.
That's why I appreciate Alan and Adam and Hugh. I remember that.
Hugh
Hammer.
From Snarky XTS. Is this prequel series really as good as Game of Thrones? Tried the first episode, couldn't get into it. Do I try again?
Oh my God, yeah, it's better.
Yeah. Oh,
Not early Game of Thrones. The way that you have to understand that my last experience with Game of Thrones was the last season of Game of Thrones. So that left a bad taste in my mouth. House of the Dragon is phenomenal. They do a lot of, put it this way, I'm not going to say it's better. They do a lot of things better, and that's probably budget related. But yes, definitely dive back in.
yeah, fair enough. And last one here, bringing our worlds together from Liv Tate. Which housewives city would Rhaenyra and Alicent each be a part of?
Ooh.
I'm going to put Rhaenyra.
Salt Lake.
I was going to say Salt Lake too, just because, whatever.
What?
Yeah,
So
that's
funny.
I know it's so funny, but we can't do it. I'm going to put Rhaenyra in New York, and I'm going to put Alicent in OC.
Okay. I put Alicent in New York.
Okay.
And I put Rhaenyra because I feel like New York is the hub. And
Hub.
Alicent's in the hub.
Yep.
They're in King's Landing, which is, New York-ish.
Sound.
Dragonstone is, important, and that's why Salt Lake gives me a Dragonstone-y vibe because it's mountains, it's
Okay.
off the beaten path. It's important, but it's not New York City.
I'm into it.
So yeah, that's where I put him.
All right. Good call. But
And then Dorne is Miami.
Dorne is Miami.
Yeah.
That works for me. But yeah, that's all I got. You got anything?
No, I don't like that you took my line, but
Hey.
don't forget to sign up for Broad Bros members. If you haven't, we got our exclusive rom-com episode coming this Wednesday. It's number 2. We are doing Bridesmaids. Super excited for that. If you aren't a member yet and you'd like to join, click the link in our Instagram bio or scroll down to the bottom of this episode description. Click that link there. $5 for the month, $50 for the year. Other than that, Broad Bros are out of here.
Later.